We're here at Flemington on Thursday morning, catching up with Wayne Hawkes ahead of Saturday's big Coolmore Lightning Stakes meeting here. Wayne, plenty of interest in your horse, All Too Hard, who's debuting. What can we expect?
Well, I'm hoping he's going to start like Black Caviar did and Moshe did, that's for sure and certain.
Well, of course, he is the younger half-brother to Black Caviar. Adds a bit of pressure on you, does it, in any way?
No, not really. This is probably one of the most asked questions. Other than his ability, what's it like having a horse like this? Well, it's actually great. He was top-priced Sydney Easter yearling, and every trainer in the country would love to have the top-priced Sydney Easter horse in their backyard. And he's treated no differently than the other two runners that are racing at Flemington on Saturday. And to be honest, that's what you got to do with these horses. You can't let them. If you start treating them differently to all the others, things are going to go wrong. And keeping them in, kid gloves and padded, cells and all that cotton wool, as the saying goes, is certainly not the way to do it. They're race horses and they're here to race.
You mentioned, of course, Black Caviar you've seen plenty of. Moshe you did train as well. This fellow, has he got any of those characteristics of the family?
Hopefully the ability, but he's nothing like Moshe. I couldn't really say to you, other than a little bit of a Roman nose, I couldn't really tell you anything else. He's like Moshe other than four legs. So, and obviously I've seen Black Caviar, but I know her only as well as you do. So.
Now, you've prepped him up, ready to go on the home track here at Flemington. Had a jump out down the straight last Friday?
Yeah, he did everything right. He handled himself well, and it's very important at Flemington. Down the straight, if he can get the chance to have a jump out, to do it and to do it well, because the horses that don't jump out well down the straight generally don't run well.
What's the grand final for him? Where do you want him to get to this time in? You race him in a listed race first up. He's still nominated Blue Diamond. Do you want to get him there, even though it's a week's time, or you just take it as it comes?
Saturday's grand final day, 12:50, and after that we'll just take stock and see. He's nominated in all those big races, as all trainers do with live horses heading into the big ones, but honestly, it's, grand final days on Saturday, and then we just take stock from there and see what we end up with after the wash.
A couple other runners on Saturday. Taxi Driver, good winner at Moonee Valley last time.
He won well. He did a really good job. Very few horses hit three deep facing the breeze like he did and then kick away at the top of the straight. Maybe question the quality of the opposition, but the way that he won and won was pretty special, I thought. Gee, it's a tough race for him. It couldn't get any harder for a Class 1 horse. The set weight's taking on a Caulfield Guineas winner, let alone three or four other pretty fair horses. So if he can get pretty close to the Caulfield Guineas winner, I'll be pretty happy.
You step him out in ground, though. Is that going to be the future for him?
Probably not. He probably looked like just a dead set sprinter, and it's just a little bit of an experiment running him over 1400. So we'll be a bit wiser after the event. But if he runs at a strong 1400, I know he's going to run well. But to say he's going to beat the quality of Helmet, I won't be saying that.
Great to see the old boy Fumicino back. Haven't seen him since Melbourne Cup a couple of years ago. Where's he been?
He's been in the spelling paddock. He tweaked a leg and came back and then half tweaked another leg, and so he hasn't had much fun the last couple of years. But we've looked after him as well as we can. He's a BMW Stakes winner / AJC Derby winner, and he's certainly one of the best horses I've ever touched. So. Very good to get him back, and he's only going to come back and be half as good, and he's going to be a pretty fair horse. But you've got to get back. One, you've got to get back, but number two, you've got to get back and be racing competitively, because if he's going to come back and not stretch out and not fully let go, well, then we'll just retire him. So this is his swan song. Every start's going to be his swan song, to be honest, and we'll just take each run as it comes. It's
a tough assignment first up, big weight, short trip for him, but just that zest for racing you want to see. Well,
that's exactly right. I mean, you've got to start somewhere. What do? Do you run the CF4 Stakes against Black Caviar? Do you run the Futurity Stakes? As I said, he's a dual Group 1 winner, high-class horse, and they're very hard to place, so we thought it was better to carry 62 kilos with a big weight in a lesser race than go to something like a Weight for A's last Saturday and chase the superstar around.
Well, let's hope it's a big day for Team Hawkes and the Mare Helsinki on Saturday.
I hope so. Thanks, mate.
There we go. Wayne Hawkes chatting about the runners on Saturday here at Flemington, including the debutant All Too Hard.